How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. I am so excited because today we're going to be talking about some of my tackle organization. We've done a video similar to this where I went through my tackle bag and what to bring on, also what to bring on like a short fishing trip with a friend. Today's a little bit different because since I moved, my tackle organization kind of went out the window because I downsized and I had to make everything fit into a little tackle box. And also I got this, you can't see the desk, but I got this desk, which has been great for lure making. I got it for like $20 on Facebook Marketplace. Heck of a deal. And I want to talk about a couple other things today as well. But let me pull all of this stuff out. All these trays that I have. Here we go. But so when we moved, I made everything fit into just this little tackle box. I mean, it's pretty deep, as you can see, but everything had to fit in there. And then of course I also have like this big, I don't even know what size tray this is, but this big tray that I have all my homemade tackle in. But first thing I want to talk about is I got these, what size are these? These are 3600 size tackle trays from Walmart, and they got this like cool swirl pattern on them, and then on the reverse side it has the Ozark Trail logo underneath the sticker. But this is just an Ozark Trail, and these were super cheap. These were $2.44 at my local Walmart, but we'll peel the sticker off and I'll show you. It just has that Ozark Trail logo. Nothing fancy, but like what drew me is like the green swirl. I just thought it looked cool, and I was like, you know what, they're $2.44. They're pretty inexpensive. They feel decent. They're gonna go in my backpack and some other stuff. So when I was looking around though, and then I was at my local Cabela's, I guess slash Bass Pro Shop, because they, since they've Bass Pro has bought Cabela's, they've put a lot of Bass Pro products into Cabela's, and we were going through, and I'm like, oh, hun, check it out. They have these boxes too. And I'm like, oh, even if they're just like a little spendier, say they're like $3.50, it's like, I want to buy a couple, because they had the Bass Pro logo like pretty big on the front. And I'm like, that's super awesome. And then we looked at the price, and it's like, oh, this is $7. $7! Like, same exact tray. I know on the website on Bass Pro they have like more different swirl color options, but it's like these are probably from like the same manufacturer. The only difference is the logo on the front, Ozark Trail, and then Bass Pro Shop. But anyway, that was just like my little rant. I'm kind of a tightwad. But also, with this new apartment, we're like slowly like trickling getting new stuff. But one of the things that I did pick up from back home is this deadhead that I found while pheasant hunting. And I'm gonna pop a picture up because this used to, like, the skull itself used to be a lot nicer. Like, I hydro dipped it, but then it's been sitting outside for quite a number of years. But my buddy and I, we were pheasant hunting, and we found this. I found this at the end of a tree row over by a lake, and yeah, I can't find like a shed or anything, but I find this really nice 5x5 deadhead. So I was super excited to have this back in my possession. I was super stoked to find this. Stay. And then I also, let me pull this out. I also got my turkey mount back from back home. And then in one of the shop classes in high school, I was able to like put my name into it. But like this was an old Tom. Like you could see there's just like these few straggly bits and then like 3 different levels of like beard. He was really old. Probably should have put him in like a pressure cooker. That would have tenderized him a little bit, but really, really beautiful now. Even my girlfriend liked it, and she's not big into hunting or anything. Oh wow, that was smooth. I didn't think that would go as well as it did. But anyway, that was just a couple of things that I want to show you. Oh, and also, I did a giveaway over, not the 100 subscriber giveaway, but I did a giveaway over on my Instagram in honor of my birthday. I just turned 25. And I gave away this custom painted crankbait. And one of my buds actually wanted Steve, so this is going to be sent out to him real soon. But anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video, which is getting into my organization for the 2022 fishing season. So a lot's gonna have to change because the area that I'm in now, compared to Florida where it's a lot of bass fishing and saltwater, so a lot of the stuff I have is just like very bass fishing, like specific. Compared to this area that I'm in, it's very trout fishing oriented. And so that's going to play a big role into kind of some of the modifications I'll make along the way. But how I organize this, we'll save this box for last because this is my favorite. This is probably my least favorite. This is the box that I have to work on the most. So, there's a little fluff in there. This box is kind of a love-hate relationship with this. So this is going to be all of my, most of my hard baits. And so we'll go through, so up in the top corner I have, this is actually a popper that I made. That works really well. I'm super, one of the first lures that I've ever made, and it works like, I mean, poppers aren't hard to make, I don't feel like, but it works really well. So I have some top water, and then I have some a little bit smaller jerk baits, going from right to left, and then I have even smaller jerk baits. So these are like Rapala original floating, and that rainbow trout color actually works really good for stocked rainbow trout, so that's going to be a big staple. And then moving on, gosh, this is the trouble with treble hooked baits. Moving on, some more deeper diving crankbaits. Those are probably good for walleye around here. There's a couple reservoirs around me that have walleye stocked, so that'll be nice. And then moving on, there's bigger jerk baits, both suspending, and I got some original Rapala floaters in there too. And then these will be good for smallmouth, bass. They're smallmouth in my area now. Smallmouth, largemouth, pike, walleye. I think pike get a bad rep, but I really like them. I like everything that swims, all the little fishies. And then moving on, it's going to be lipless crankbaits. And then shallow diving crankbaits specifically, there's one corner in the bottom right-hand corner where it's just specifically square bills. And probably square bill crankbaits are my favorite. And actually, this Tennessee shad color, this KVD square bill, I missed a nice fish at Lake Kissimmee on this, or Lake Kissimmee, yeah, like Kissimmee River State Park or something like that. From the bank, I was throwing this and I missed like a really nice fish. He, like, I don't know, must not have gotten hooked that great or anything, but that is tray number 1. This is probably my next favorite tray, just because this is just terminal tackle, and I like to throw a lot of Texas rigs, things like that. So this is going to be just all of my terminal tackle, but then I have a few other like little nice things in here. So, for example, I have some bucktails that I tied up. These will be good for walleye. I just threw them in here because figured it would be a decent place. But yeah, then a lot of this is, oh, and then I have crappie jigs that I tied up. Oh no. Gosh, I'm probably gonna step on that later. I have crappie jigs that I tied up. And those work just amazing. I've caught like a lot of bluegill, perch, crappie, small bass, a lot of different things on those. And my girlfriend even caught a freshwater clam on one. It was really goofy. But then I got jig heads, I got bullet weights, tungsten weights, I got bobber stops, and like I actually have like way more lead weights than what I want. I'm not going to get rid of them, but I think I'm just going to store them away because I want to transition more to using tungsten weights. If you haven't used tungsten, well, there's pros and cons to it. Con maybe is that they're like a lot more expensive than lead, but the pros to that are it's more dense, so your weights are going to be a lot smaller compared to lead, steel, copper, like whatever is out there for other metals. And they're more sensitive. You could feel more with tungsten when you're like skipping it across the bottom or flipping or whatever. Like, it's just night and day difference. It's insane. When I first got tungsten weights, I kind of thought it was a hype, you know, watching YouTube videos and whatever, but it's not. Like, go buy some tungsten and like try out a lead weight, switch over to tungsten. It's night and day difference. It's incredible. And that extra sensitivity is going to help you hopefully detect more bites, hopefully catch more fish. Like, that last part's up to you, just like connecting and putting your bait where those fish are. But then I have a lot of drop shot weights. I have when we were still in Florida, towards the end there, before we knew we were going to move, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into swim baits next. I'm going to start to throw swim baits. So I got these. I believe these are VMCs. These are belly weighted hooks, and then they got the spring lock up top. And I was gonna throw like swim baits. So the first one I got was like a Gambler Big Easy soft body paddle tail swim bait. They're pretty good size. They're like 5.5, so not like huge, but it's like that's gonna be my first step, and then I'm gonna work my way up from there. And I threw that around quite a bit. Primarily where I threw it around was super pressured. 14 pounders in there, but like very pressured. So never connected in there. But I don't know how much that is going to come into play around here. I'll give it a shot, but you know, big bait, big fish. And then I also got my bigger, extra wide gap hooks. So this is, I picked these up. These are the 6 cents ones. I've heard mixed things about them, but they're very sharp. And Milliken Fishing, has part ownership over 6 cents. So like, I don't know. I think it's a good company. I'm definitely going to try this out. Heard some mixed things, seen some mixed things, but you know, everybody's experience is different. So that's probably my second favorite box. Moving on, this box is kind of a hodgepodge, if you will. It's a mix between so kind of what I was thinking with this box is it's like a lot of bladed lures, sans like a couple. So, and then Pikachu, my Pikachu lure. That I didn't get to use a whole lot of, mainly because I'm kind of scared of losing it. But Pikachu takes up a whole little section, and so he needed just a place by himself. But then I got buzz baits, I got spinner baits, I got these bigger Mepps inline spinners, and then I got smaller inline spinners for like trout fishing. Not that I use them a lot for trout, just because I think there's a lot better stuff out there for trout fishing. And this is probably my favorite box. So, this is the Jig and Frog Box with a couple extras in there, just because. So, this has marabou jigs in it and some bucktails. Like I said, treble hooked baits. They're kind of a... But then this also has big spoons in it for pike fishing. So that's also going to be coming up. With ice out, pike spawn, it's going to be great. Then it also has... This is my favorite, but then this also has like one of my least favorite lures in it. It has chatterbaits in it. And I've just never had any luck on chatterbaits whatsoever. Not a lot of luck on chatterbaits. I keep throwing them. I feel like I keep throwing them in like the perfect scenarios to throw them, and it just doesn't work. But then this also has all my jigs in it. And I like right after, it's like for me, flipping a Texas rig, frogging, and then jig fishing. Those are like my top 3. It's just like stuff that I have a lot of confidence in. And if you've never thrown a Texas rig for bass, do it. If you've never thrown a frog for bass, do it. And if you've never thrown a jig for bass or walleye or anything like that, do it. Maybe not like a skirted silicone jig, but if you're just jigging like a bucktail or a curly tail grub for a walleye, do it. One of my girlfriends and my buddies, we were shore fishing spring walleye, and he caught like a 30-incher on a soft plastic from the shore, and then followed that up with like a 28-incher. It was insane. But this also has all of my frogs in it as well. Frog fishing is epic. There's some ponds around here for it. And then there's like some ponds and lakes back home. For bass fishing, I'll have to go out and explore more. But favorite box. And then I bought a few extra boxes. I have 2 extra, and then we'll close out the video. One thing that's kind of neat with these Ozark Trail boxes, though, is on the top here, right there, they have a ruler that goes up to 9 inches. So you can throw your crappie on there, make sure it's legal. That's probably like the only fish where it would work for this. But I bought 2 extra. One I'm gonna put in my car as like a traveling, you know, kind of like pond hopping, like traveling case that's gonna have just like my essentials in it, kind of bare bones. If I need to go on a quick trip, here it is, I have stuff. And I'm gonna do a video about that as well. And then this next one that's empty, this is probably primarily going to be like my trout fishing box. Since that's huge down here, I'm gonna make a whole box just dedicated to that, and that's going to be another one, and we'll just like keep being modified until, you know, the more I learn about trout fishing. Which I like grew up fishing stocked trout, stocked rainbows, so we'll see what happens. There you go. Drawer didn't want to close, but that's going to be another video in itself, creating that box with you guys. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for sticking in there with me. And let me know what other videos you guys would like to see on this channel. Like I said, we're a primarily trout fishing area, so that's going to be prevalent coming up here with my lure making and stuff like that, as also, you know, some fishing videos as we are able to get out there. It's actually blizzarding right now, and so I'm not outside. It's too cold for that. But thank you so much for sticking in there with me. If this is your first time seeing me, please consider subscribing. That would be amazing. Give this video a thumbs up. And like I said, I want to know what you guys want to see, because I'm pretty willing to do whatever to make you guys happy. And if I like the idea and it makes me happy, that's a win-win too. But thank you so much, and we will see you for the next one.